Over at Marvel Comics, the publisher is looking to commemorate 175 issues of She-Hulk with an oversized issue of the series covering another one of Jennifer's battles with the new villain Scoundrel. Plus, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the latest developments between Jennifer and her current love interest, Jack of Hearts, before taking a look at some of Jennifer's interpersonal relationships with the female heroes of the Marvel Universe. My name is Arako Braddock, and today let's go ahead and dive deep into the pages of She-Hulk issue number 12. But before we dive deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button if you enjoy our content. I want to go ahead and introduce She-Hulk 12 by reading Marvel Comics solicitation text for the issue. She-Hulk reaches the landmark 175th issue. Not only does She-Hulk find herself face to face with the brand new villain Scoundrel, but she also puts her whole law practice in danger. All this plus bonus stories that will have people talking. And I want to go ahead and introduce the creative team behind She-Hulk number 12. This one is written by Rainbow Rowell, illustrated by Genolet and Joe Quinones, featuring colors over from Cunniffe and Bryan Valenza, as well as letters over from VC's Joe Caramagna, and the cover for the series is illustrated over from Jen Bartel. Here's a look at the cover over for She-Hulk number 12. Really enjoy kind of the pose Jen is striking over on this issue to kind of commemorate 175 issues of She-Hulk. And I want to extend a thank you over to Adventures in Poor Taste for posting these previews of the issues so quickly. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of the interior art of the series over from Genolet. I love Genolet's line in this issue. It's quite kind of curvy and manages to capture so many kind of expressions from several characters throughout the issue. I love kind of Jennifer's expressions in the book as well. In this moment where she's having a sort of contentious phone call over with Reed Richards, I really think, like perfectly captures kind of some of the tension that Reed feels during the phone call. Also love some of the expressions that the kind of characters waiting outside Jennifer's office are striking in the book. They seem like they've been waiting there for a while and are a little bit frustrated by Jen's sort of lack of attentiveness in the issue. And really think that Genolet is also able to kind of capture some of the deep, insightful relationship moments as well between Jennifer and Jack of Hearts, where the issue kind of, kicks off on. I have to say that author Rainbow Rowell has been doing kind of one thing in this series that's disappointed me a little bit. And I think that really extends to the fact that Rowell does seem to kind of introduce conflict in the issue where it doesn't necessarily need to be in some cases with Jack of Hearts. I do think that his speech patterns are a little bit odd and it leads to some kind of, naturally just strange or weird moments. But I did find this sequence in the issue, while I definitely enjoyed how it was illustrated, and I think that like the prose and the kind of, dialogue written between the characters is actually like exceptional. It's that sense of conflict that I think needs to be there and doesn't serve the story is kind of what I think detracts from my enjoyment of the tale a little bit. That being said, I did like kind of these moments where we get a peek over at Jen's kind of superhero career and seeing how it spills over into her career as a lawyer throughout the issue. Really enjoyed some of these moments here. And I also found it interesting how Jennifer essentially can't keep her mind focused over on her practice, leading to a kind of encounter over with this villain known as the Scoundrel. Genolet really captures great facial expressions over with this character. He's so sort of cocky and just gives Jen kind of a run for his money in some of these panels. I love how kind of, powerful he is as a character, and especially how that's expressed over on the page as well. I really think that the Scoundrel brings like just this sense of kind of joy and wonder over to the tale. The way he like removes his mask on this page was just so kind of weird and creepy. And just the way that he sort of, mentions and calls out that he was looking for Jennifer inside just totally captures her completely by surprise and gives way to kind of a great sequence over in this issue. I quickly want to go ahead and switch gears and talk a little bit about the second story in this collection. This is called She-Hulk and Friends, and the first rule of book club is this one, of course, is still written from Rainbow Rowell and features some art over from Joe Quinones. It also features colors over from Bryan Valenza and D. Cunniffe, with letters over from VC's Joe Caramagna. So I really enjoy some of the work that Joe Quinones has done over with She-Hulk in the past. It was so exciting for me to see Quinones return to She-Hulk and to be able to capture kind of so many supporting characters throughout the series. While essentially She-Hulk is just basically meeting up with some of her friends like, Janet Van Dyne and Patsy Walker to meet up for a book club. I really appreciate it when the Marvel Universe kind of, reaches out into its odds and ends and manages to find really interesting character moments with people who you wouldn't expect to be kind of together. I think kind of the introduction of Volcana towards the end in the issue really kind of captured something special in terms of some of the kind of emotions and sequences throughout the tale. I would even like a return to kind of the book club in future issues, as I just think this kind of combination of characters between, Janet Van Dyne, the Invisible Woman, and the rest of these characters are just so interesting and bring out a really kind of special side to Jennifer that we've seen previously in the basically in runs like Charles Soule's run over in the past. So really liked how this kind of second story featured a return to so many characters who used to be a big part of Jen's life, and really hope that we get the return of more people like Patsy Walker and Sue Storm in back in Jen's life over in the near future. And I really do think that in addition to the wonderful artwork over from Joe Quinones, managing to capture just so much expression and heart for these characters just over from some of the faces alone, I think that the writing and some of the dialogue is even extended over to the second basically story in the issue. Just the dialogue over from Rowell across She-Hulk 12/175 is just absolutely phenomenal and captures so much nuance in this story. So at the end of the day, I'm incredibly happy over with She-Hulk 12 slash 175. I think the introduction of an encounter between She-Hulk and her new villain, the Scoundrel, is super interesting. Really hope that we get some really fascinating Scoundrel storylines in the near future over from Marvel Comics. Also, I really want the relationship between Jennifer and Jack of Hearts to work out. I hope some of that conflict is kind of resolved and we can see these characters naturally progress over in their relationship, and really appreciate some of these interpersonal narratives that were introduced over in this book club story. I want to know from you, what are some of your thoughts over on this issue of She-Hulk? Well, thank you guys so much for coming to check out the video, and we'll be back really soon for more excellent comic book content. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.